There was an article about an African-American town that had been flooded by the Army Corps of Engineers and destroyed in 2011. So I was reading this article around Thanksgiving, probably, of 2011. And there's a picture of this woman who is the mayor of Pinhook. They're interviewing her, and she says, it's just horrible. I mean, like, they didn't warn us. They didn't tell us they were going to flood. And it happens that the town had been built in a floodway, and they knew that. But this was like late 30s, 1930s. And apparently, the government allowed them to build there because it was the only land that African Americans could buy. So I drove to Pinhook to see the town, and it was just devastated. I mean, what was left were just garages off of houses, roofs off, all the windows blown out. I mean, it's just a wreck. In October, I went to the American Folklore Society, which we attend every year, which is the main folklore studies conference. And I met with a former graduate student of mine, Todd Lawrence. I remembered him talking about an African-American town that his grandfather had partly started years and years ago, called Pennytown. And so we were just talking about Pennytown and Pinhook, and I just on the spur of the moment, I said, do you want to do some field work with me on Pinhook? Because I knew that as a white woman, it would be very difficult for me to go down there and interview people and find out where they're living and find out what was going on. We have now spent 3 years doing that, interviewing people, finding out where they live. They all live in very shoddy housing. They haven't gotten any housing funding. They're living with friends and family members. They have no homes. Everything that was in their homes was destroyed. And so we've established a real relationship with this group of people who are scattered as far as St. Louis and Kansas City, but mostly in the Sikeston, East Prairie, Charleston, Benton area of the Boot Heel. So we made a film last year, and it's called Taking Pinhook, and the title comes from a legal term. It's like public domain, so that if in this instance, if the Army Corps felt that they needed to flood Missouri to save parts of Illinois, they could take that land, and so it's a legal term. We're writing a book, and we will publish it with the University of Missouri Press. We have a contract, and it will come out next year. And our dream was that the book and the film would end with the Pinhook people rebuilding their town. I mean, that was our wish, and it certainly was their wish, and that isn't how it's ending. The film ends with photographs of what the town looks like now and where the people live now, and the book will end at the same place.